Let's talk about some of the oddities that could potentially turn upside down the meta. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We'll be starting off over here with Colorless, the Supreme Chaos King of the Dark World. And I think this card is absolutely... It's cool. But your fusion requirements are awful. You have to use Rainbugs, Overlord of the Dark World, which is not the new one. It's not the good one. It's the brick and a half plus two plus feed monsters. This thing has to be fusion summon. You can destroy all cards your opponent controls. All right. I guess that's pretty cool on fusion summon. This card's original attack and defense becomes equal to the number of fusion materials used for its summon times 1,000. So you should be at least a 3,000. And then once per turn quick effect, target one face-up card you control. Discard one card. Also, your opponent cannot target that face-up card with card effects this turn. This is a huge amount of resources to be dedicating to things, because the brick that we have to play, Mr. Rainbugs, says if it's discarded from your hand to your graveyard by opponent's card effect, it battles itself, and then it can destroy all monsters your opponent controls or all spells and traps that they control. That is not good. All right, well, Robbie, we can just hand it over. We'd have our opponent discard it with our little Intruder Dark World card that we play. The ability to have it summoned onto their field and have them discard it. Perfect. Nah, I'm not trying to do this. I would rather play fusion subs at that point and try to cheese it out that way. But it's not worth it at all. Like, this card fits the 100% oddity description because the card's not really that good. People are going to hype it up because they want to have the chance to play it, but the cold, hard truth of the matter is it sucks, alright? But it always has a chance, I suppose. Next up is Arcana Force, the Fiend. Now, I've been very vocal about my love for the Arcana Force deck. Actually, I think it's probably just Zawaldo that everybody kind of loves in terms of, just what we've been able to mess around with in terms of deck building. But when we saw an Arcana Force card get announced, everybody lost their minds. They're like, oh, I'm so excited. Well, first of all, I still am excited for Arcana Force. That has not changed. But the Devil, its actual name is the Devil, by the way, in the OCG. It's going to be called the Fiend here in English. This is a 2,500 level 7, which is pretty good. So we can discard this card to add a light barrier from our deck or our graveyard to our hand. So the first thing that they needed to make for Arcana Force in order to balance them out was they need a way to get to their field spell. All right, let's be honest here. The entire identity of this deck has been the field spell plus Zawaldo. All right, like, it is everything that we want. So on summon of the Devil, we get to toss a coin, and then we gain the appropriate effect. Oh yes, our favorite thing in the whole wide world. So on heads, when an attack is declared involving this card, you can target one monster on the field, destroy it. If you do, ping your opponent for 500 damage. You're like, oh, man, okay, attack declaration stuff. Tails, when an attack is declared involving this card, destroy all monsters on the field. So everything about this card is just discard it to search for the light barrier. All right, it's 3 more copies of your field spell. Technically, with terraforming in the mix, you're having 7 copies of the field spell. That means that you just got to find a way to turbo out the world, and mission accomplished. We can cheese our opponents out of the duel. Alright, like, I see nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Right? It's going to work 100% of the time. Trust. Next up is Kyle Pterodon and its new fusion. So, Kaito Patera here. By the way, this is actually a good dinosaur sport. I think that, besides, like, Bonfire and Transaction Rollback, Buzz King, Pterodon here is really good. So if your opponent controls 2 or more face-up non-win monsters, those monsters cannot target this card for an attack. I'm going to be honest with you. That's never going to actually come up, ever. Unless, like, you find yourself in some really weird top deck, terrible scenario. And you can only use it to the following effects of this card's name once per turn. So during your main phase, you can add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. Okay, so what you're telling me here is Dinosaurs are going to have to play a poly. Yes, they are. And then if this card is banished, you can special summon it, and then you can add a polymerization from your graveyard to your hand. I'm going to be honest with you here once again. I don't know how you're going to find yourself banishing this thing, but during your main phase, adding a free polymerization from your deck to your hand does kind of bring it all together because of Horned Saurus. Horned Saurus is going to be literally a Kaitopatara plus a dinosaur or a dragon monster. This is technically a super poly target for dinosaurs. Technically. Alright. This king can attack directly the turn it was special summoned. A lot of people are going to lose to this thing in time, I feel like. And then you can only use each of the following effects of this. So on Fusion Summon, we can place a field spell from our deck or graveyard face up in our field zone. Hey, this gets around Droll. If they Droll you on that activation of your Kaitopatara on the resolution of searching the poly, this is good. And it also can pull from graveyard. And then during your main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, we can normal summon a dinosaur or a dragon monster. At least this thing is self-replacement, which is actually really good. I have a lot of faith in this little package. It's good stuff. Next up is the Ashoka Pillar. Now, I want to preface this here with going, poor Minkanko players. Alright, like, unfortunately, bad things have happened to the deck. They lost the sold. Oh no, the combo heavy build. No. Well, you can still do the other variations. So Ashoka Pillar here is actually 100% gas for the Minkanko Duelist. So this thing is a what, level 3 with a nice 0 attack, 2200 defense. If this card is summoned, you can add one equip spell from your deck to your hand, and then if this thing is in an attack position, change it to defense position. Huh. Okay, so you're telling me this recruits for any equip spell. Snatch Steal? Snatch Steal. Ooh, Snatch Steal. Okay. Water Aberraske? Okay, well, we got a couple things here. And then you can only use this effect of Ashoka Pillar once per turn. And then if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, take 2,000 damage. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you here. If this thing is sticking around on the field and didn't get linked out with, and it's getting blown up and you're taking 2,000 damage, what are you doing? Alright, like, let's just take a moment to appreciate that, because this card is, like, actually good. I actually forgot about Ashoka Pillar, and I had it on the list of things here. But Snatch Steal, Konami actually was extremely nice to us, and they said, hey, you guys want the chance to break Snatch Steal? Well, it's all for Ashoka Pillar, alright? They want you to play Ashoka Pillar so you can search for your Snatch Steal. I see you, Konami. I appreciate you. I will make sure that I play the crap out of this terrible idea. Next up is the Eye of Illusion. I'm going to preface this with, this card would look really nice in Prismatic Seeker. I really wish we could get it like that. So if we control an illusion or a spellcaster monster, we can activate one of these many effects, and it's at least on a quick play. So the first effect, your illusion and spellcaster monsters cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. Excellent, Yugi boy. Good stuff. During your opponent's turn, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. But I want to be able to link summon with it. I mean, as long as I have like an IP Masquerade on the field, then we could technically rev it up. And we could use that opponent's monster, since it's now underneath our control by the Eye of Illusion. And then when an opponent's monster declares an attack, we can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, except the attacking monster. Change the attack target to it and perform damage calculate. That is literally just Joey's magical arm shield. Alright, but they gave this card 3 effects. Alright, let's call it what it is. The more text that they can print on a card, typically the better it feels like it can be. Wait a minute, Endymion. But that's neither here nor there. I like the idea of what this card tries to do, but it does fit the bill of the oddities that we're expecting here. So, What do you guys think about these? Think anything's going to have a real meta impact? Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.